Councilwoman DeVersa. 90 seconds.
Thank you. Good question. Let me go back about 3 years ago. There are probably people sitting here that I probably would have not supported 3 years ago. And it's safe to say that they probably would not have supported myself either. But over the last 3 years, I've learned to work with my council. I believe I have respected them. I've learned what their strengths and weaknesses are and appreciate them. And I believe it goes both ways. When this, before this election this summer, and three of our incumbent city council members were up for re-election as well as myself, and at that point did not know who would be running. I felt committed that over the last couple of years we have made great strides. We've worked together. We've moved the city in a positive way. So I committed to supporting all three of our incumbents. That being said, I think I did read it in the Beacon where one of my traits was loyalty, to whether that's good or bad, to a point. I'm not a fair-weather friend. I don't consider supporting someone because they vote exactly like me or they support the same candidates. But I would say this: when I read in the paper, the Beacon, and the other papers, I have not talked to any of the individuals that are mentioned there or Councilmember DeVersa, so I don't have any of those facts. So at this point, I don't have any facts on that other than what I've read. So again, I'm not a fair-weather friend, so I'm a loyal person. I'm sticking to what I said.
Thank you. 60 seconds, Mr. Longoria.
Well, I happen to feel that loyalty is one of those traits that unfortunately we don't see enough of anymore. So on the one hand, I'd like to thank Joe for being loyal. And if I was in his shoes, I think I would be, going through the same agony of what to do. And I think I would be trying to remain loyal to the word that I said. Not necessarily individual, but if I said that I would do something, I would try to do that to the utmost of my ability. But the sad part about that is that the person who has a lot of responsibility in this isn't here to answer for herself. And the reality is that the burden of guilt, the burden of not being loyal, the burden of going against the word that they gave, is the person that's not here. And so I would give Mayor Lockwood points for sticking up for his word and doing what he said he would do. And I would only wish that the other councilmen had done the same thing.
Thank you. 60 seconds, Mr. Lusk.
I've gotten to know Joe quite well in the last 3 years, and to address one of his comments, he and I went door to door for 3 months back in 2006, and invariably every day out on the road we'd run into each other. And I made it clear to him that at the time I wasn't supporting him, and you have to support somebody, and that was my choice. But he and I recognized our common ground in the last 3 years, and I think we've worked well together. I've run my own company for almost 24 years, and I know what loyalty is about, and I respect Joe and his commitment to loyalty. There's another thing called trust, and trust is earned, it's not granted. And loyalty goes both ways. Trust goes both ways. And I think this is a serious issue that we're dealing with here in the city, and we need to look at trustworthiness as well as loyalty.
Thank you, Mr. Lusk. 60 seconds, Ms. Thurman.
I think most people have seen a lot of changes in the City Council over the last couple of years. And I think the truth of the matter is we have realized which of us share a common vision for the city. And I think the three of us are sitting up here right now that we realize really have our goals are very much in line. What we want for the city is very much aligned. And yes, we did agree to support each other before the qualification period even ended. Quite honestly, I had never even heard of Joe Longoria until after he qualified to run, regardless of what you might have read. But I believe, like Mr. Lusk said, that, you know, trustworthiness is something that's very important. Loyalty is also something that's very important. And personally, I have tried to stay neutral for as long as I possibly could. I actually showed up at both of their fundraisers initially that I was invited to. Everyone I was invited to, I showed up at, including the one that she endorsed my opponent. I had just left that one. But I do respect the fact that you're loyal. I'm glad you're loyal to me still. I'm very thankful for that, and I look forward to working with you for the next 4 years.
Thank you, Ms. Thurman. Final word, 30 seconds, Mr. Lockwood.
Well, again, I share what everyone else has said, and sometimes they're not easy decisions, and no matter what you do, you're not going to please everyone. And again, I'm just trying to do what I think the right thing to do is, and sometimes that's not the easiest thing. Thank you.
Our next question is for Mr. Lusk. Your opponent has stated that you are not opposed to relaxing density zoning restrictions and expanding sewer service in certain areas of the city. Are you a proponent of sewer extension and increased density in certain situations?
This is a topic that's not easily explained nor understood, and it's probably been the most misrepresented issue that we've faced here in the last 3 years. It's been a political football, obviously thrown out there for political gain, and it's part of the hate-baiter, fear-monger approach as just to gain political office. There's a contract between Fulton County and the city of Milton. It's called an intergovernmental agreement, and we have several intergovernmental agreements. We have the intergovernmental agreement with Fulton County, where they furnish sewer service, they furnish water service, and they also furnish a dog catcher. That's part of the different intergovernmental agreement. We have an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Alpharetta. But in our intergovernmental agreement for sewers out here is contained a sewer service delivery area, and that is where